Former New York socialite Judith Case and John Raymond are joined by Satan in unholy wedlock before a live altar, a nude redhead. Self-ordained sorcerer minister Anton Lavey presided at the San Francisco ceremony. As the worst man looks on, the blessings of Lucifer and Beelzebub are invoked.
Anton Lavey, to me, was a man who really, really was the closest I have ever come to believing that anyone on earth could command some sort of occult power, because I could go on forever about the things that happened to people who crossed him in this town. And even though Jayne Mansfield didn't cross him, she happened to be with Sam Brody, the man he had put a curse on. And Anton Lavey warned her. He said to Jayne Mansfield, "Do not hang around this man anymore. I have told him he has less than a year to live, Jayne."
A bulletin has just been handed to me. Hollywood star, the buxom and beautiful Jayne Mansfield, is dead. She was killed instantly when the car she was riding in collided with a truck a few miles from New Orleans early this morning. A flaming, grinding car crash ended the bright movie career of famed Jayne Mansfield on June 29, 1967.
In 1968, director Roman Polanski released Rosemary's Baby, the tale of a suburban housewife who conceives the devil's son. Audiences were shocked by the story's simple premise and flocked to see the film.
I suppose it would scare Christians to think that these things are happening and they don't know about them. These were just, you know, the people next door, you know, the nice little old lady that lives in the apartment next door, and who knows what they do behind closed doors.
When I stand on the mountain and I say, do it, it gets done. If it don't get done, then I'll move on it. And that's the last thing in the world you want me to do.
The decade also saw Satanism go mainstream with the success of Anton Lavey's Satanic Bible. First published in 1969, sales of the book continued to grow throughout the 1970s.
The idea that this man, Anton Lavey, or this group of people would step forward and finally give the devil his due probably frightened a lot of people.
Our Father, which art in hell.
Our Father, which art in hell.
Unhallowed be thy name.
Unhallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come.
The devil is the forgotten figure of the Western world.
Satan represents the archetype of the rebel, of the outsider, of the alienated, and the accuser. And that is an archetype that I adopt for myself. It is a role model that I myself am a Satan in the society in which I exist. Some criminals may incorporate bits of satanic ritual into their activities, but they use them in a way that shows that they don't understand what they're about. They are misinterpreting Satanism and twisting them for their own personal ends. It is as if someone read the Christian Bible and had a mass and killed somebody in the middle of it. You know, Christians would say, well, that's certainly not what our mass is about. And when somebody performs a satanic ritual and abuses a child or kills somebody, if that actually happens, which we have seen very little evidence of, then they are misrepresenting and misinterpreting our religion as well. A black mass is a satanic ritual which we would use to purge any obsession we would have with Christianity. Since we live in a society that has for many centuries been dominated by the Christian plague, we find it as a way of purging ourselves of any obsession with that particular mythology and that system. In our worldview, in our philosophy, there is only one force, and that is Satan. Each person has to come up with their own definitions of good and evil, and it relates specifically to their personal interaction with other people and with the events in nature. We are beyond good and evil.
Behold the symbol of the putrid flesh of he who would purge the earth of infernal pleasure, and who, in the name of Christian justice, did cause the deaths of millions of our beloved brethren. We curse him and defile his name. May the black flame of Satan consume thee, you God of the living dead. Consummatum est. Shanamporash,
Shem Hamfarash!
Hail, Satan!
Hail, Satan!
The age of fire has begun.
What the world needs is a good whipping.